Well, hello. Welcome to the Tin Cantina. Let's take a look inside. So welcome to Steve's Build Life. If you haven't been here before, we're gonna take a tour of our third cabin on our 100-acre property in southeastern Kentucky, the Tin Cantina. We just finished this cabin yesterday, and I thought I'd let you guys take a look and see what we've done. When you first enter the cabin, the very first thing that you see is our mini-me pellet stove by Flame Innovations. This is new to me. We just got it hooked up and running yesterday, and this thing is awesome. It takes pellets in the little hopper there at the top, feeds them into the ash pan at the bottom, or the burn pan, I don't know what you want to call it, and it burns. It burns with no maintenance. It takes no electricity. It just sits there and does its thing. Warms this little 230 square foot cabin up, no problem. If you haven't been following the builds, we built this cabin in my shop in Northern Illinois, the framing of it, and we hauled it here to Kentucky. We poured some concrete piers, set the pre-made deck, all the walls, the roof, everything, and then we built this deck on the outside for an outdoor kitchen. We'll take a tour of the outdoor kitchen sometime. It's not 100% finished. But here's the kitchen you come to as soon as you come in. We've got some just box store cabinets that I bought. In the kitchen, 3 drawers, 2 cabinet doors. And I made this countertop for the cabinets twice because I cut it 9 inches too short. That's why there's this big breadboard on there, but I think it looks pretty good the way it is. We trimmed out the windows with some barnwood, a couple lights in here. These are shelves made from walnut, as well as some of the trim in the cabin that came off my property. So we milled it, dried it, did all the things. I think it turned out pretty well. We got some barnwood backsplash, coffee maker, microwave. There's an induction cooktop underneath the cabinet here that takes special pots and pans, but just a 110 outlet. You could plug that in. The cabin is on rainwater here, so there's a big tank behind me. We've already winterized it here to leave. But for drinking and things like that, we provide water jugs for our guests. These are rental cabins for me. This is kind of my retirement and a fun place to hang out with my family and friends. But this one will be rented, I think, for only about 7 months out of the year, and then we're gonna close it down. We've got these cool little gallons fridges. I've got these in a couple of these cabins. Nothing special, but they're kind of neat. Got this little retro look to them. And we've got a little cabinet here for some spices and things. People tend to bring stuff and then use a little bit of salt and pepper and leave it up here. We'll put some basic amenities in there, but they wind up getting pretty good stock as people leave. We've got our little local wildlife sign. There are wood roaches in the woods, and it's off-putting to a lot of guests. A lot of them say, hey, you got roaches in here. We try to explain to them these are not cockroaches like from a dirty Chicago apartment. These are wood roaches because they live in the leaves, and if you leave the front door open, they just let themselves right in. Anyways, that's the kitchen. Next to the kitchen is your bedroom, I'll call it. You know, this is really just one big open room, but we've kind of put some divider walls in here, give us a little more, you know, places to put things. But if you do have somebody up making coffee and somebody's still sleeping, there's a little bit of separation there. We have a bunk bed up on top here. Again, this is more of that live edge walnut that I milled up from my place. I've got some rentals, one in particular that was, you know, 150-year-old house that we gutted and redid. So I saved a lot of the old doors out of the rentals, sand them down, put some clear poly on them in case there is lead paint or anything, kind of seals it in. Make cool headboards. We use them for all kind of things. In fact, both the front and back door of this cabin came out of that house. We made new frames, kind of repurposed them. The bathroom door we'll get to in a minute. That's another one out of there. And of course this headboard. I did make the nightstand here. That's a stack of old books with a big bolt through it and more of the live edge walnut top and bottom. This ladder here is same wood as well. It's got some library stair treads, library ladder stair treads that I bought off Amazon. Nothing too big. And then of course we've got a television. That's something you could see from the couch. You guys probably can't see the couch from here. Anyways, nothing crazy, but if you had a couple and a kid or something that wanted to come stay here, I think this is very accommodating for that. I even got up in this bunk and I fit just fine. So anyways, that's the bedroom. Happy with the way it turned out. So this is our little reading nook, I don't know what you want to call it, but another area straight across from the bedroom. We were debating originally when I was drawing up the plans for this, dreaming up the plans, I should say, I was going to make this like a restaurant booth you could get into. Kind of what I'm realizing is if you've only got bedding for 3 people, maybe you don't need a big, you know, 5-6 person booth. And when we wound up building outside, We've got a picnic table out there and some other accommodations. So a lot of guests that stay at our cabins here say that they are working remotely. We're near the Red River Gorge, that's in Slade, Kentucky, and it's a big hiking mecca. So you get a lot of people that are, you know, digital nomads, if you will, people that work remotely that can do it from anywhere. And it seemed like a desk was something that they appreciated more than anything. Most are willing to work off the couch or on, you know, kitchen table, anything like that. But I had this desk and I thought, you know, there's plenty of room for a desk and 2 chairs in here. You can do your work this way, or you can sit there and eat your dinner, whichever you like. And that gave us room for a little bookshelf. It's a place to house the internet router. And then of course we got to have some books and games and things like that to pass the time. Well, we got Wi-Fi too, so that's seems to be a must-have for most cabins. And in all the cabins I leave a fan there if people like to, you know, open air and use a fan instead of running the air conditioner, which we do have a heat and air unit here to back up the wood pellet stove. And in the summer, obviously, the wood stove does not make air conditioning. A lot of people like to sleep with a fan, so we just leave that there. This is kind of just a cool box store purchase, a little retro looking oscillating stand fan. We should talk for half an hour about the fan. This is the living room. Little love seat, plenty of room for 2, 3 if you really like each other. This is a couch with a rug. Moved the coffee table for making the video because it kind of takes up the whole room. May even make a smaller one for that. Got all our barn wood here that came out of another property that we were rehabbing. So I guess it's not really barn wood, it's just old wood. Between my day job with a construction company, and we do a lot of remodeling in our little town on some really old houses that I typically keep for rentals. And so we come across a lot of cool old things, and I think, well, might as well use those here. When we were preparing to build these cabins, you know, we had rented a lot of cabins. We still do. Every time we travel, we get an Airbnb. 5 of us in my family. There's often a few tag-alongs, kids, friends, things like that. So renting a house is just more fun and much more affordable than trying to rent hotel rooms or something like that. So in the years leading up to doing this, and especially between purchasing the land and breaking ground on our first cabin, the Squatch Hollow, we would take a lot of notes on things that we would do differently for ours, things that we would do the same, things that we would include that we didn't have when we were there. And after you start renting them too, boy, the inbox is like the comment section on YouTube videos. People tell you everything you need. Some people want this thing, some people don't want that thing. You know, so you kind of got to see what the most popular comments are and balance it out. But one thing that always put me off is a lot of these rentals that people have. It's like they have an extra house, maybe it's something from their family, maybe it's their vacation property that they use. They throw them up on Airbnb, and all of the decor, all of the things they have, the furniture, everything looks like it either came out of their grandma's basement because it was free, which I understand, especially, you know, we're gonna have 6 cabins to furnish here, so it gets expensive. People are hard on stuff, so you wind up having to replace it. You don't want to buy really expensive things. But a lot of them, like the decorations and things, pictures on the wall, are things that you could find at Target, you know. So here you come away to this vacation, you're trying to, you know, get away from the hustle and bustle at home, and you're sleeping in a bedroom that has the same pictures on the wall that you have in your dining room. You know, I thought I will be sure, one, to keep the cost down, that I make a lot of the things here, a big wood shop, and I have those skills. Not everybody does, I understand that. And if your time's worth anything, it probably isn't cheaper. But things that are unique, things that you can't find anywhere else, things that express my style and things that I like. And then you take your feedback as we go. That's the nice thing about renting them while we're still building, is you get a lot of feedback and you think, ooh, I shouldn't do that. Or people really thought that was cool, so let's do that in the next one. You know, and here we are. So the bathroom here is very small. In fact, I'm gonna step out of it. It's about 3 foot by 6 foot. So in a 230 square foot house, there's not a ton of room for a bathroom, but we did manage to squeak a 3 foot by 3 foot stall shower in here. We've got this little sink here, and of course a toilet. Has all the things you need to stay for a week, stay for a month. Gets the job done, but there's not a lot of room in there to lay all your clothes out and get dressed in the morning. This is actually an old medicine cabinet that was in my house for a long time. It's got to be 100 and something years old, but we were able to fit all the plumbing underneath this sink. Kind of make these weird little uprights here, and then we put a door on it to cover it all up. Just happened to be close to the right size. We cut it down a little bit, but you definitely won't see that anywhere else. Well, that's it, the tin cantina. This is our smallest cabin yet, but in my mind, I think it's the coolest one. It's very dense. A lot of cool old barn wood, a lot of cool old things, very unique. and it's been a lot of fun to build it. I'm super excited to have it done. It's currently December, so we're getting all the bugs worked out of things. We've still got some stuff to finish up outside on the deck and move the grill and the griddle in, but I don't think we'll start renting this until probably early to mid-March. That's when things pick up around here, and then people don't have to worry about heating and all the things that come with it when the dead of winter and freezing water and all that stuff. So I think we will wait until then, and then if it, you know, rents like I think it will, we may leave it open all of next winter. That's the best thing, is if people are staying in the cabins, they keep it warm. They keep an eye on everything, and when we've got cleaning staff in here pretty regularly to keep an eye on things. If you leave it open in the winter, and let's say it just rents 2 days a week, you know, people come in Friday night, leave Sunday morning, something like that. It's not always enough, especially if you skip one and it's sub-zero, to be sure that everything is working and functioning properly. So it might be best just to, you know, call it what it is and close it down. I could certainly use the break from all the people asking questions and things like that, but don't put that in there. Anyways, I'm rambling as I often do, but thanks for taking a tour of the cabin here. There'll be some more to come. We'll do some on the outside and some of the kitchen, things like that once weather warms up and everything's done. Today we're hauling all the tools out of here and putting them away that are sitting outside on the deck, and then we will be headed home. But I'll be back. If you are not following the channel, we've already started our 4th cabin. It's actually a bathhouse for some of these. Like this cabin here does not have a washer and dryer. So, and the next 2 after the bathhouse will not have showers. They'll just have maybe a toilet, maybe an outhouse, but we will provide laundry facility, both for guests and cleaning staff, as well as a couple full bathrooms. And there'll be kind of a dormitory area for me and the guys to stay in, so that we're not having to block off rentals. You know, this week we blocked off the big cabin, the Squatch Hollow cabin, for almost a week while we're here working, so that starts to get expensive. But again, I want to get all this done. This is kind of my retirement. I'm not quite there yet, but once they're all finished and renting, I think this will be a great investment. So hope you'll come along, watch the rest of the builds, and we'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Oh, sorry, I don't have a cameraman.